Good afternoon, Muskegon.
Good afternoon.
This is Tony Williams.
And Chauncey Williams with What Do I Do Now, your guide to credit, debt, and planning for your financial success with 103.7 The Beat.
All right, Chauncey. We're into March, which
Yeah.
means March Madness.
Which means March Madness.
Or March Magic, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. High school basketball been great. Girls high school basketball, Muskegon, Lady Reds, we did a pretty good job. Coach Walker had a great plan. Beat Kennewood Hills, played on the shores in a controversial game with a last second play that where referee probably supposed to swallow his whistle.
No call, man.
No call.
That was on TV.
Yeah,
everybody in West Michigan seen that.
Yeah. So they know
Okay.
that was. And then Mona Shores bowed out. Oak Ridge bowed out. I think everybody from our community done playing basketball.
Yeah.
So
We're just watching the
Yep.
girls now. We have nobody to root for.
yeah, we had nobody root, so we just watching the girls now and we going on. But a great thing is brewing with the boys though.
Oh, my God.
The boys are 22-0. But then on the flip side of it, we got another boy over at Cass Tech that's from Muskegon.
Really?
They just beat Detroit East English.
Seriously?
And Detroit East English, they said they had the easy path to the Breslin, and they just beat them. Last night I talked to, I think it was Pastor Murray's son. He's played for Muskegon last year. He was a sophomore.
Right.
Oh,
That's where he's at, Cass?
Yeah, he's doing great. He had 15 last night, 9 in the last 2 minutes of the game.
I didn't know. I
So
talked to Pass before he left, man. I didn't know where they was going.
Good things is going, man. So, but where it looked like, I think Muskegon, I'm thinking the whole time, I seen Muskegon there, and Detroit East English, they had a guy going to Michigan and a guy going to Michigan State.
Okay.
And Cass Tech beat him. So I'm looking at it like it might be a complexion, but we might just see an old Muskegon player go against his brothers. But that says a lot about our city, though, that we can have a player in another city making a contribution on a team that's putting out Division I prospects and beating them. And then we on this side, they don't give us no respect. So I look at it like that because he was developed under our tutelage.
Yes, he was.
In this county. He's actually one of my kids
This
that I
actually
had.
would have been his first year.
It would have been his second year varsity.
Second year varsity.
He played last year.
He left as he played JV ball.
He played JV ball as a ninth grader. Then he played JV ball. Then he played varsity ball as a sophomore. And it was a developmental project. But as he was learning how to develop, I mean, he had tools. But, I already know it's a high expectation at the at the Muskegon Big Red Foundry, I call it.
Okay. It's the foundry, Doc.
Yeah, they put the guys in like camels.
Turning out them products.
Yeah, they put the hard work in. So he wasn't making the cut a little bit sometimes, but he was getting better. And
Okay.
I've seen that process. And Coach guys so hard on the guys that by the time they realize they scraping the surface, they be going off to college camp and they doing great. So
Great.
So Murray's doing good, and just seeing that, and I just know that everybody's talking about the mountain that Muskegon got to go against in Tillman. I'm like, they beat them last year. Get ready to get ran through.
Okay.
I'm saying it if everybody else don't say it in the county. I always talk crazy, so
Go ahead.
I haven't proved myself wrong. I know enough, and I've seen enough that I know that Muskegon is a well-oiled machine, and I would love to see that Muskegon and that Cass Tech clash because those are two teams and two respected coaches that deserve to go at it. I would
Okay.
like to see that.
I agree
Good
with
guard play on both sides. There's nobody that's too tall on either team. I know you got UD Jesuit still out there. They big, but they don't have guard play like they had last year with Cassius. So it's a lot of things coming up, and then how Detroit is. Everybody put everybody out in the district.
Oh, yeah, right.
So now
Right.
the district championship Detroit is Friday against Martin Luther King, Cass and Martin Luther King. So we got Muskegon over here. When the region comes, it's gonna be what's that school? Christian and Muskegon. Everybody know that. So after that happens, if those two collide, it's gonna happen.
So that would be Tuesday. Well, we got Grand Haven tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you play every game, right?
That's right.
You got to play every game.
But if you look at the Grand Haven, they did it like this. They played Muskegon early this year,
Yes, they did.
so they can get it out the way.
Yeah.
So then they can figure out how to scout that tape. Because that's all they worry about winning is one game. They want to win that one game.
One game.
They always gonna win 15 games. Grand Haven is.
Yeah.
So they got a decent program, but they always can't get over. They usually be able to get over the hump in the past of Muskegon. They struggle in that game. Now they can't beat Muskegon. Well, I can't beat because last year they won by Muskegon hit a late jumper,
Right.
put them up for good. But they haven't beat them since 2012.
It's been a
So
while.
Grand Haven is like we gotta play them early so we can go into like a
a stall game, man.
Like a dissertation of basketball.
Right. We're gonna slow this thing down. We want this game in the 30s.
We're gonna do a thesis on how to beat Muskegon, quarter by quarter, minute by minute, second by second, and knowing them how they play the game because their girls program is similar. It's gonna be to perfection.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna try to do whatever they can to get over the hump Muskegon, but I know that the Big Red's gonna overcome and put them down. But I know that game was played early on purpose.
Oh, right. They scheduled us early.
Yep. So they get it out the way, keep the kids' morale high, get them a winning streak before they get crushed. So now it's like they didn't see Muskegon at their highest level towards the end of the season.
Well, the good thing is we got them at home.
Yes.
Okay. I definitely wouldn't want to go to the pit and play them.
And the game at Kenwood Hills last year was ridiculous. So
you
already know what I'm thinking. So I'm glad too. I'll be there for that one too tomorrow night. So I've just been trying to hold off.
Get us some good officiating.
That's right.
All right. We want good officiating, and let chips fall where they may. And if everything goes as planned, come Tuesday, we'll be at Grand Haven.
And there it is.
Playing Grand Rapids Christian.
Yep. And then Muskegon Heights, they played Kent City the other night. They beat them by I think 13. And they looking pretty good. They got a lot of play.
It was a tough game at first.
Yeah.
Kent City was hanging with them. And then they pulled away at the end, so that's great.
Speed and that guard pressure.
Tigers to move on.
Yep. So we want everybody that's affiliated with our community to move on. Even if you're at a different school,
we don't play that. We just want to root for our kids,
for our kids, man.
That's right.
So
we're not haters.
Yep. Want you to shine and do the right thing. And
because it's all a reflection on West Michigan, right? At the end of the day.
Because when it comes to recruiting, they say, "Oh, ain't nothing in Muskegon," and we know we all hear that. We want to make sure we keep on putting good products out and good programs out, or countywide. So just keep on surviving the test and keep on pushing through. If you're part of this Muskegon brand countywide, so let's keep it like that.
All right. Well, let's get ready to get into the show.
Oh, before we start the show, I've been sitting up here just thinking about you work in a business where you provide services, right?
Right.
And then I work in a business where I provide services as an affiliate, and some of the services are my own. And sometimes you you look over the history of your life and your business, establishing your name and your brand, and you look at it and you say, okay, I've done this for several people. I've done this for hundreds of people. And you get to a point where you find people or you find situations where people say, oh, I can do that myself.
Okay.
And that's a scary situation.
Yes.
Especially when you're dealing with finances and contracts and insurances and policies and investments. Like they say, you can day trade yourself. It's cost $7 a trade. All those little things out there with no knowledge. You say you're about to dive in something and raise your whole family and work your job and try to make a better situation with no knowledge at all because you don't want to spend $1. That means you're really lacking some type of knowledge. So I've been just trying to put that in my head when I talk to some people and they say, oh yeah, I'll do that myself. I'm like, okay. But you've been in a situation for longer than a year. You've been in a situation for longer than 5 years. So all of a sudden you got the bright idea you want to change in your life.
You're going to fix this situation.
And then when you're going to fix it, you're going to go about it wholeheartedly by yourself. Well, is that a King Kong time to beat your chest and say, I got this financial thing and I got kids growing up and I know that one day they might be in college, one day they might be a serious situation that this might need some health care and they might ask me for my social security number, my credit score ain't right. I say I'm working on that right now. I'm doing it on my own. I'm mail some letters off myself. And then you're like, well, your child can't have this surgery or you can't move to this community because your credit score, you can't have this apartment. So it's just so many things that we have to look at in the complexion and the complex of life.
You know, it's like the old adage about a lawyer that represents himself as a fool for a client.
Yes, he does.
Okay? Now, I mean, I don't know how profound you can get, but that is profound to say that a guy that's a lawyer, but yet want to represent himself as a fool for a client. In other words, get another lawyer.
Get another lawyer.
Okay? Go get some help. Somebody got a different set of eyes that's going to look at it totally different. And especially like, you're saying, if you got financial risk involved, then you should get help.
You're right.
It's okay.
Yep. So I always look at the situation like coming from a household where my father was a mechanic, and sometimes it was certain work that he couldn't do, and he'd be like, "Yeah, so we're gonna strip this motor down, but this transmission got to go to motor man or somebody."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why you don't do that?" He said, "I don't mess with that. That ain't my thing.
That's not my expertise.
That's not my thing." So we're gonna strip it all down. We got to get these new head gaskets, and so we're gonna have these people put it on. See, I can put everything back on for you, but I'm not doing
right,
that.
You got to machine that head. You got to send that, like if you're going to put on a set of new heads, they got to take them out, machine them. I mean, yeah, right. Like you say, that's not his expertise.
So I don't do that. He said, and then plus, say, why? He said, who got time like that? He said, I'm not having fun with you. You, my son. We could be making barbecue and kicking it and riding around in the car instead of trying to figure out something that I don't know how to do.
A man must know his limitations.
So it's like, it's just, pride can be our own enemy, and just, I don't know what it is. It's just, I just struggle with that at times because, like, the day we sit there during our show, and I got this, I read a lot of financial books, and I got Kiplinger's book, and it's today it's talking about
very reputable magazine. Kiplinger's.
Good stuff, man. Yep. Heard about it from Warren Buffett 5 years ago. So it's like I
subscribe.
Yeah, I subscribe to them. So like I can go online, but it's like it's good to have hard facts. And then now it's into their 70th anniversary. So they're talking about a magazine that's still producing with all this internet around. Mm-hmm. They got 70 years in, and today's show, which we probably will extend into another show, was going to be 70 ways to build wealth.
So
you telling me it's not one way to build wealth?
No. It's more than 70.
Yeah, it's more than 70.
But they pared it down to 70, so it's palatable. We can go through those 70 items and basically put them to practice, and we may not become extremely wealthy, but we will probably become more financially stable.
Like the book on the title of the book, it got the nest eggs on the front.
What color are those eggs? What color are those
gold,
eggs?
Brother. That's gold. Okay. Gold is key.
Right.
Let me get to the point where I can get me some gold bars.
Hey, the golden rule is the man with the gold makes the rules.
That's right. You're right. Okay. That's the old stock market.
The man with the gold
before the stock
makes
market
the rules.
That's the gold.
That's it.
The gold standards.
Yes.
That's it. So I got these 70 ways. I'm gonna go through some of them. You can help me elaborate on these. And it's things that I know you've tried, and some of these things I've tried, and I'm currently doing today. And it's just looking at them and just being able to see my life. It's a better and clearer picture with more clarity. The first thing, Tony, is save early and often. You just got to talking about me on the show when I was telling you I just paid something off. And you was like, find something else to do with the money. So what do you mean by that? Go buy some Jordans?
No.
Go out and go some crazy vacations? What do you mean?
No.
So if I paid something off that was a high ticket item like a car, a home, or a business investment that's probably upwards of $10,000, $15,000, and say if the payment was $300 a month, or $500 or whatever the number was, what do you mean find something else to do with the money?
Here's an opportunity. Gave me that phrase. Here's an opportunity to take advantage of some investing that you may have been thinking about. Okay, you take the 300 and 30, 60, no more than 90 days. You need to have that plan in place and start funding that plan, because what I mean is if you don't start funding that plan, you're going to find something else to do with that money, which may not bring you a return. Okay, it may turn out to be more of an expense,
and that's a problem,
than something that's going to build you a wealth or bring you a return and appreciate and value. So that 300 becomes more than 300 at some point in time. But if you got extra income, like you just said, you got a raise now.
Okay, that's right. That's a raise.
Got it out the way.
That's it out the way. And I still have the asset. So it's like I have the asset that's worth a certain value, and then I got a raise. So now I got the money and I got the asset, and the asset is still worth something.
Right.
And it's still being
appreciating. Used. Yeah, you still got use out of it.
That's right. So then that puts it at the stage where I was like, well, what's number two? Number two says create an emergency fund.
Man, that is so key. Those two items right there are the foundation of starting to garner wealth and financial independence, financial freedom, however you want to coin it or phrase it. But you have to start saving money. You have to invest money, and you must have an emergency fund.
So like right now, I know we have 6 months.
That's the rule.
Yep,
says
the rule.
6 months of income.
And my wife always like, why is all this money over here right here? I'm like, because somebody lose a job or like accident happen.
Yep.
So you always gotta look at it like that. So it's like she's like, oh, that's money there. I'm like, that's not the vacation money. That's for just in case.
Yeah, because the national average says that most people are 2 paychecks away.
Yes, they are.
From bankruptcy.
Yes, and it's a dirty road. Whew.
And that's not good.
Man, it's a tough fight. I'm telling you, it's a tough fight. You don't want to see that fight. That's one fight that you'll lose time dealing with that fight.
Yeah, so a lot of people say, well, how do you create this emergency fund?
How do you create this emergency fund?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
well, one of them, it says save early and save often. It says if you're saving 3% or 10% of your income. So it says if you have a dedicated stash of cash at ready in case of a job loss or an unexpected bill, let's say for a major car repair or hospital visit, you won't have to resort to racking up credit card debt or tapping into your retirement savings over to cover the tab. So it says squirrel away at least 3 to 6 months worth of their living expenses in a safe, easy access way or money market deposit account. You always talk about those. For more personalized amounts to save, use a tool. You know, they give you websites and everything. So I'm looking at, when you look at it, you think about 10% out of each check. We talked about that. 10, 10, 10. Invest, save, charity. Right? Invest, save, charity. Invest, save, charity. Invest, save, charity. So that breaking that equation down, you're like, well, that's 30% of my check. But look what it's doing. You guys living off 70. All right,
living off 70.
And that's what's his name? Jim Rohn. He say take every dollar and it's 70 cents that you get to hold on to.
That's pretty good. That's good.
70 cents. So like you said, 10, 10, 10. So say if you got a check that's $1,000. Well, that's $100 going towards that emergency fund.
Every paycheck.
Every paycheck. So if you get paid twice a month, you get paid
every
4
week,
times a month.
Once a month.
So 4 times a month, if you get paid 4 times a month, 300 times 4, that's $1,200.
$1,200. Yeah.
But that means that you have figured out that I don't need all the clothes. I don't need to be at every single party.
Right.
I don't need to have the latest everything. I don't have to have this new thing. I don't have to have the most extravagant things. That $1,200 can become a reality.
Right. So it is simple as taking a Roth IRA.
That's on here too.
Okay. You take the Roth IRA.
Let's go right to that. It says open a Roth. That's number 4. So we'll go back to the other one. So,
okay, we're going to use the Roth and incorporate it with the first 2 items that we've already talked about.
Okay, explain that. Go on into detail with that.
So we're saying that we're going to create an emergency fund.
Yes.
And then we're also going to increase our savings. So you set up the Roth IRA, and the Roth, there's 2 types, traditional or Roth. Traditional says that whatever I invest in, I get to reduce my taxable income at the end of the year. So over the course of the year, I put $5,000 into this traditional IRA. I made $50,000, so my taxable income now is $45,000.
So that's better than taking a standard deduction. Right?
Okay,
so we were talking about that a couple weeks ago. You don't. Okay, I've never taken a standard deduction.
So I'm gonna sock this money away, and when I take distribution of it, it is a taxable event. Okay. Roth.
But you still can get out of that, can't you? In some way you can.
Well, yeah, you can liquidate it at any time. There's no rules that you can't liquidate it. It's just a vehicle that you can use to fund yourself.
But what about, I know you're taxed, you'll be not penalized, but like you'll be taxed. But isn't there still like a way through the tax, like say if you was buying a house?
Right, 15, right, there's a hardship for medical.
That's right. Down
school,
payment of a home.
Down payment on a home.
So you could use it for that. So people always talk about down payment. That's the best way to do it.
Right. You can use the traditional IRA for that. Okay. Now, 59 and a half is the age in which that you can start taking distributions of it without a penalty. 59 and a half. That's traditional.
That's how the people live. The older people that's rich be living off their interest.
Right. Okay.
Off their big pension.
I talk about this at another time, but I had a conference call today with Franklin Templeton, and that was the topic, how you develop that income stream.
Man, that's it, man. That's what I need. Okay. That's what I'm praying for right there.
So we're going to use the Roth because what happens with the Roth is, as you fund it at the end of the year, if you've put $5,000 in, your taxable income was $50,000. You still pay taxes on $50,000. You do not get to reduce your taxable income at the end of the year with the Roth. Okay? Your $5,000 still out there in the Roth. But when I take distribution, there is no taxes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. IRA, taxable,
but then
traditional.
It's gaining interest off the market that you put
Absolutely.
In. So you get to get all the extra money.
You keep all those gains.
That's a credit card that's paying you back.
Technically, yeah.
That's what it is. That's interest that pays you instead of you paying somebody else.
Yep. And then there's I have a program called a single K. Okay.
You told me about the K, like you got a business.
Right. These are guys that's got their own business, and it's set up just like employers have a 401K.
Yes, sir. But it's a K.
Single K is for the small business person that wants to set up savings for retirement other than an IRA or a traditional IRA.
Yes, sir.
And a Roth. So you can actually, just like traditional 401k, you can borrow from your single K if you wish, pay yourself back with interest. Okay, but for the sake of the example that we're going to talk about, the Roth is if you said, okay, I want to have I want to make sure I always got 10 grand in my Roth IRA because that's my emergency fund. Might be more, might be less. But you also can have a traditional sitting over on another side, and once you exceed $10,000 of value in your Roth, you can transfer that over to the traditional because it's less liquid. Your Roth is liquid immediately, so you can still get the gains of having tax-deferred benefits off the traditional and have a Roth, which basically is more liquid than traditional IRA. But that can be your emergency savings because you can go in there and get that anytime you want to with no penalty.
Yep. So that's good. That's a powerful statement. So the next one, it says make the most of an employer incentive. So like mine and my job being a teacher, the public savings that we use. But I also can open up a Roth also.
Yes, you can. You can never have too many investment vehicles, man. Yeah. So what that says is if there's a match, if your company has a 401k pay.
Not for the teachers, though.
No, you don't, unfortunately. But private industry, a lot of times, in lieu of a defined pension. Okay, years ago, when my dad worked, your dad worked, when they retired, they had a pension. They was going to get this money for the rest of their lives as long as they were alive. They got this money, or they would have the survivor benefits that says, you'll take a less amount of your pension because if you die, you want to make sure your wife still gets a portion of your pension. Yeah. That's a survivorship.
That's how it is right now.
For the pension.
They still got that for teachers. We still got that.
Okay.
Yep. So like if I always get those statements in the mail, and they say, all right, you get this with your wife and your kid. If you die, your wife and your kid get this.
Okay. Yep.
Like even if I die today, it's like the money will be there.
Right, for the rest of their life.
For the guys. Now we know we in Muskegon. It's for the guys that think that if you missing your years of working, I'm telling you, it pays. So when you older, you're like, why this old man can be getting these cars or he got these airplanes and these boats.
Yeah,
it's them
vacations.
From when he worked when he was young.
Yeah, and he saved too. So he saved along with it as well.
That's it. You putting those years when those golden years come, you're like, wow, this money come from? Now he's able to do special things for his family and his kids. So that's what it's talking about. It's not about the now.
No. And employers, they'll say they'll match up to 15%. Okay, in other words, if you defer 15% of your income into the company's 401k, the company will match up to 15%. So that's dollar for dollar. That's free money. And the reason they do that is because they have found out how expensive it is to operate and maintain a defined pension program. So they're basically taking that away and saying, okay, in lieu of that, we're going to give you this money, and you invest it how you want because this is your retirement. And when you leave here, that's what you leave with.
Yeah, like I got some here. See, look, you know your stuff, Tony. It said many companies enroll employees automatically at the contribution rate of 3%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or their salary, but aim for 15% of your income, including the company match from the beginning of your career until the end.
That's right.
That's the egg.
That's it. And if you like they say, they enroll you at the 3%.
Do you miss it? You don't miss it. I'm telling you, as you get older, you're like, oh, that money. I haven't even checked my little multiplier and all that. I haven't checked none of that. I'm like, it's there. I see it like once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I see how it grows. But that's the one that's guaranteed that I'm gonna have. But the other stuff I look at, but it's like, I know that's gonna be there.
Yeah,
it's there.
That's the mirrors. Yeah, it's gonna be there.
Them years is there. That's like I'm putting these time in. It's gonna be there, and it's showing me the increase. That's why they send me the statements. I'm like, okay. I go over them, but I'm like, wow, I'm glad I started early.
Oh, absolutely, man. And
at 22, I'm like, I'm 30 now. Like, that's 17 years of money just being there.
And as you continue to add to it, is the effect of compounding interest. Okay, and there's a chart that will show you what your money is worth 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and it's amazing how that works. But you got to get in the system. You got to be involved. And if, like it says, it started at 3. If you feel like you can't afford to get to the 15 right off the bat, then make a commitment to yourself that every year that you work, you're going to at least increase it 2 to 3%.
Yeah,
so in 2 years, you're at 15, man.
I know as a teacher, they said we can go as much as 18,000 of our income a year. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm trying to. I want to do that. I want to do that for like the next 15 years. Like 18,000.
Do the math, man.
Yeah, because if you look at it, like say a luxury car you want. Well, I want this car. I want that. You look at the prices. You're like, well, if you want something real, like on the luxury end, you paying $900 a month for that. So with insurance and everything. So you just imagine, you're like, well, $900 a month. What about paying $900 over 12 months?
Mm-hmm.
To your savings.
Right. That's it.
That's closer to that 18. So now you maxing what you can get to your contribution to yourself. And then you can drive, like you said, you drive a car that's 4 years older, and you can rent the luxury one when you feel like it. Let me go rent that Corvette right quick for the weekend in Miami. We in Miami.
Okay, that's what you do,
I want a car for a month to just go travel for the whole month, a nice luxury vehicle for the month. How much is that? Oh, that's gonna be $1,000. That's be $1,000, sir. You got your own insurance or whatever you're gonna cover it. It's $1,000. That's okay. That's that 1 month.
It's 1 month. That's all right. I felt good. I got it out of my system.
But I got $15,000 I saved over the year.
Yeah, that bank statement.
Giving it to somebody else. Yeah. To have the car every day in your driveway.
No,
that don't make no sense.
Because if you look at it and you think about the people that drive Mercedes, okay, with no hardship, we always consider those to be the lawyers, the doctors, professionals. Yeah. But yet, if you're an individual that's tax working, and for them it is because
and a company might just give them a company car,
and it could be. But if you're working on an hourly job, and your income is $35,000, $40,000 a year, you don't really need a Mercedes.
No, you don't.
Okay, I love them too. I like them, but I tell you what, unless I was making $4,000 a week,
we can do that.
I would do it. I don't.
And
so therefore, I'm gonna buy something I can afford and feel comfortable with.
Give me the company lease. and I'm making $4,000 a week. Let's do that.
A week, man. That's the kind of cash. Cause you got to remember, everything else got to come out of that $4,000 a week. The house note.
Yeah, you're right. You don't want to spend. You don't want to spend more than 40% on your housing expenses. So
right.
You got 30% going towards retirement savings and charity with your tithes, and you got another 30 to 40% going towards your living. So now you got 30 that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you doing, your loose ends or whatever. But now you got your money, and then you might have some more to save right there. So that's the equation that I really want to get back to with a household with 2 people working. So there's only been 1 for working in my household, and things being paid off though.
Because you understand. I've
been getting blessed, but I'm like, I tell my wife, I'm like, it's might be good you go back to work. Cause I'm looking at that $18,000 to put it save up. She probably thinking, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna buy? Like, no, I'm not gonna buy nothing. I'm looking at the things that I'm studying, audience, and guess what? It's a reality. You can pay things off, and you can look at it like,
mm-hmm.
What can I do with this money now? Okay. So I'm talking to you two from a standpoint that we just don't do shows. We're actually trying to live.
You have to live it, man.
On purpose, on what we telling you. So when I get in front of you and I open my mouth, you'll know in the first 60 seconds, like, he for real. He's really trying to put that together, that plan together for himself. And I want to see you have it for yourself also.
But it's a sacrifice.
Yes, it is.
Okay? It's a sacrifice.
You might not have the shiny thing.
No. And you got to be content. You got to tell yourself, it's okay. It's all right. We're good. We're in a good spot. We got a plan in place. And we're going to forego some of the things that our friends are doing.
Man. Like, here's what our friends are doing. Imagine you get a car you got for 4 years. And you're like, oh, yeah, you can trade this in and get a new one. All right, 4 years. So you paying something for 4 years at $400 a month. That's $16,000, right? That you don't have no more.
Mm-hmm.
So you get into the 4th year of the car. You can trade this in and get another one. They say, all right. Well, you still owe $7,000, you owe $5,000 on this 4 years that you had, right?
Right.
Let's trade it in again, get another brand new car for the next 4 years.
Okay.
Then, oh yeah, we was calling you, so you want to trade another one in. So that's how much is that? 16 plus 16,000 is what? 32,000.
32.
That you gave somebody else. Now let's look at this though. Let's say you like, well, all right, I'm just gonna buy this car at $7,000, $5,000, outright cash for my tax return or something.
Done.
And this car not gonna go no farther than probably in Detroit. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna take it there, but it's a good car.
Yep.
So then I say, all right, $7,000 paid for it. Now look at it. You got $25,000. Before you have it, you got it. Like you just said, make the plan. Make the plan.
Make the plan.
So all right, last year I got this much in income taxes. And people getting big income taxes. Some people do because they don't have businesses or they doing a standard deduction or whatever they're doing. So all right, they get $7,000, they go get a car. Nice car. They got a great deal. Car 3-4 years old.
Shop around, yeah.
Great vehicle. Low miles, decent miles. And they're like, all right, make sure the oil change and everything right. Now they ride this car for 5 years. They're like, oh, I paid those years when I was doing that $32,000. I'm saving 16. I'm saving 11. I saved 11 for these 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I might need to go get another car. Well, look, you trade this car in for $2,000. Take $3,000 of that 11. You got 7. You still building.
You still building.
You still building the money, but you still got a dependable car. You still got a dependable ride. So
quick and dirty math. While you was talking, I was crunching some numbers.
I know,
right?
I seen you. What you
$500 a month.
All right.
Times 12.
All right. That's 6 months. That's 1 year.
Yeah. Times 5 years.
So $60,000.
That's 30 grand.
30 grand.
30 grand. So if you got a person out there that's shopping for a car right now, and one of these, corner dealerships, get them in there
and show them the bells and whistles.
Yep. And say, okay, I'm gonna get you into this car for $500 a month. And you go to Blue Book and you look at the car. Blue Book is we'll just say 15 grand. Car's 15 grand.
Oh, that's one of the mom and pop shops. Go ahead.
So at the end of the term, you done paid it off. You've actually paid $30,000 for a $15,000 car, versus, like you're saying, paying it cash, ride it for those 4 years, maybe 5. You got your good car and you maintain it. That's how much money you could have saved and put into some kind of a investment program, an IRA, or put it in with your matching fund at your job. So, you got to do the numbers.
Yeah. So
hey, numbers don't lie. Figures don't lie.
You're right.
Liars figure.
You're right. That's figurative language right there. We studying figurative language in school.
Okay.
Question number 5. We'll end it today. Man, this is 70 ways. We're gonna be doing this for a minute.
While.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's kind of like a review of what we've been talking about.
For
so look,
year. Yeah,
number
it's like
5,
a year in review, man.
Here goes. Golden rule number 5. And this is what we're doing today. Ask a pro for advice. A financial advisor can help you blaze a path to financial success, especially when you're starting out or facing complex financial situations. CPAs, financial people like me and you that live the experience, got connections to people that do it, and makes the situation simpler and easy for everybody else. Because I wouldn't want you to change the transmission on the car if you've never done it before. That's what
I don't want to drive it.
Because that's what we talking about. When you're in the lane of finances, you trying to change gears to go from one spot to the next, to add a comma, to add a zero, to add some decimals.
That's right.
To your life. I'm Chauncey Williams.
And I'm Tony Williams.
And this is What Do I Do Now? Your guide to credit, debt, and planning for your financial success with 103.7 The Beat.